The great thing about primer is that you do all of the work of paint, but you still have to paint. Paint, paint, paint. Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears and the homestead of hopelessness. We are here in my Garage and ADU project, and in this video, it is time to start painting. This project has been 10 years in the making, so I cannot tell you how excited I am. But excitement aside, we've got a lot of work to do. So when we last checked in on the studio above my garage, we had finished insulation, we had finished the shear wall, and we had finished initially putting up the drywall. So we had a drywall inspection, everything is passed, and now we are ready for our first coat of primer. Things are moving at a rapid pace as we approach the finish line of this project. You see, it is currently Saturday, and on Monday, my contractor is going to hang these cabinets on those walls, get all of the base cabinets ready to go. I still have to pick out a sink, but in order for my contractor to hang the cabinets, I got to get primer on all of this. I hope I have enough primer for the whole building, but we're going to start over there. We're going to get that wall, we're going to get the ceiling, and hopefully, if we have enough primer, we're going to get to work painting the ceiling with our ceiling paint. It seals, but it's also on the ceiling. Yeah, that's right. But before we get to work, let's walk the property really quick because things have been happening downstairs. We have our beachfront property over here. I have moved all of the stucco sand out back, and we're going to begin to spread it out across this whole area to get it ready for paver stones. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to be. That's kind of a low priority. Mainly, I just want to get this sand kind of spread out so that weeds can grow through it. Over here on the north side, we have a huge trench dug from the garage all the way up to the front of the main house. And that is because we are running utility lines, well, really all of the utility lines for this property in this one trench. So we're going to run plumbing, electrical, gas, and on top of all that, Ethernet. Ethernet is going to be the very last thing that we run because it is the least important. It is not subject to inspection, so really only have to bury it a couple inches. And that's going to make maintaining it over time a lot easier. If a wire goes bad and I need to pull the whole thing up, it's not going to be a big deal. Whereas electrical, which needs to be a certain depth, plumbing, which needs to be a certain depth, that's all going to be safe and secure underground. Moving into the garage, we've got the drywall on the ceiling and it is all taped up. It's going to stay like this, at least for the immediate future, because it doesn't need to be completely finished. As much as I would like it to look nice, I cannot afford the time or the money to make it look nice just yet. So we are going to move full steam along with putting up outlets and lights in this garage. And my electrician, who was supposed to show up yesterday, but of course was nowhere to be found. Go figure. I'm so surprised. He still has yet to pull wire in that box behind the toolbox. So that's why the toolbox is sideways. I can't put it back until he's done back there. So that also kind of sucks. And one of the other things about doing the drywall and the tape is that we have made a complete mess of the floor. I have already come through and mopped all of it up once, and it looks like I'm going to have to do it probably 2 or 3 more times. That's just what happens when you do drywall. The gypsum board that's in it, it just gets everywhere, and it's really, really chalky. So it's just going to look like this for a long time. You see underneath the Camaro is where I did no cleaning whatsoever, and it's pretty brutal down there. But we still have a ways to go here. We're still waiting on the mini split AC, so I'm going to have to clean off the workbench again. Luckily, this is just the AC lines for my Prelude project, so I'm either going to put them on the car, or if I can't put them on the car, it's not going to be a big deal to clean that off. So that's really the update for the garage. Finish electrical, mini split AC, and then I can bring the car back in here. I can finalize my entire tool setup and get back to work on cars. But we can't do that right now because we've got a lot of work to do upstairs. So let's go upstairs and I'll show you what I've got. So on the second story, as I mentioned, it's time for paint. And so I am going to use the sprayer this time. because it's gonna go a lot quicker. So I'm gonna spray and then I'm gonna back roll. And that's why I've got the roller here. I've got a roller ready to go. And we're gonna use this PVA drywall. Now, this stuff is made specifically for raw drywall, but it is also really cheap, at least compared to other paint. It's about half the cost of what you would spend on something else. It's about 80 bucks for this 5-gallon bucket, and when it's done, I'll have a nice bucket. And because the focus of this project is going to be the kitchen area to make way for my contractor, we're going to start by spraying that back wall, and then we're going to do the entire ceiling because we want to try to get the ceiling all in one go. And then we're just going to start picking off walls. I have begun to plastic off all of the windows. There's a couple that I have not yet done, and that was really because I just wanted to keep air moving through this building to cool it off. And it was worth it because today is really, really nice. We finally have a break in the heat. There's still a little bit more taping that I have to do, specifically around the range hood, and I don't believe I need to do any more taping in here because I've taped off that window, and the rest of this is all just raw. We do not yet have any kind of hardy backer in the shower, and that's actually a good segue into tile. I went to a tile shop yesterday and begun searching for tile, but it came out really, really expensive. So I ran away from that place screaming because they wanted $37 a square foot for subway tile. Are you kidding me? So with all the further ado in the world, let's finish taping, and then we're going to begin to prime the walls and the ceiling. You gotta be joking me right now. We're not doing this. I'm done. So I've already wasted an hour of my time trying to clean this stupid gun. However much time that was supposed to save me is long gone now. So we're just gonna go at it with a brush and roller. That was horse shit. Oh God, that was horse shit. Well, it was a long day, and the battery on my camera died, so I was not able to record all of it for you. But I think you got the point. I rolled a lot of paint, and then I rolled a lot more paint. And then when I was done rolling paint, I rolled more paint. The great thing about primer is that you do all of the work of paint, but you still have to paint. Paint, paint, paint. So it looks, I mean, I'm seeing imperfections. I may want to do a third coat on here, but right now, I think I'm prepared to live with it just the way it is. Just because I got more things to do. And let's face it, my electrician is just gonna get his filthy paws all over the ceiling anyway, and I'm gonna have to do a third coat anyway. So I may as well just wait. You know, I got 2 coats up there. You see it's a little bit patchy in places. I mean, you might not be able to see it, but I certainly can. But it's fine. I think it's fine. We've got primer all up in the bathrooms as well. Painted, primered. The ceilings, the walls, everything. So the next step here is to mount cabinets. And that is up to my contractor. Yes, he took that cabinet to go rebuild it. That was the one that the sink is supposed to go in. I ordered a new sink because this one is corroded. And that's supposed to arrive, I don't know, in a few days or something. So that's it for the ADU for now. I'll come in and check up with you once we have something to show. But in the meantime, this is what it is. The electrician is supposed to get started on the fixtures. He was supposed to do that last week, but he did not show up because he is awesome like that. Yeah, so I had everything out of the way for 2 weeks, and only the Camaro, giving him the opportunity of a lifetime to work unimpeded. However, he chose to piss away that opportunity because now the Miata's broken, and I've got to fix it. I've also got to fix the Prelude this week because I paid to take that car to a show, and I am not going to miss that. I am just so frustrated with people that say they're going to show up and do something, and then just disappear. Like, why do that? Just don't even say anything to me if you're not going to show up. Seriously. My God, I'm not even hiring the electrician. The contractor's hiring the electrician. Tell the contractor. Jesus. We're checking in on the second story of our ADU, and while a lot of progress has been made, looks can be deceiving. First of all, it's been 2 months. Second, yeah, none of this works. So my electrician has apparently just been making it look like he's been doing some work and not actually wiring anything up whatsoever. So up here we do have a few things working. We've got some outlets working, but we don't have lights. None of those switches actually do anything. We do have outlets, which is kind of really a good thing because now we can actually run tools up here. But we have none of the overhead. We have neither of the ceiling fans. We don't have the pennant light. We do have the range hood, and that was something that my contractor had to like literally babysit him on and sit there and watch him work all fucking day in order to get done. We do have AC. So our mini split AC unit is up and running just in time to no longer need it because it is 65 degrees outside. We've got a few of these lights here. We got that light working. I have tested all of the receptacles and all except for the refrigerator circuit work. This does nothing. That does nothing at all. These do work, sort of, yeah. So these are the lights for the shower and for the heater vent light. We got a shower light, which is, I mean, I really like that there's a light here. I don't necessarily agree with the placement of the switch. I think that's a little weird, but it does work. So do the heater and the vent functions of that light. This doesn't work, the outlet doesn't work, and neither does the switch. So yeah, that's really, really fantastic progress for 2 months. My contractor has been working on window frames. I think they're coming out great. He only started on that a couple of days, so I'm not going to be too hard on him about that, especially since he is wrapping up another job. He will be here over the next couple of days to wrap this up. I hope I don't have to eat those words. Hopefully, within the next few days, I'm going to be able to lay floor, but I don't see how that's going to happen with an enormous 500-pound vanity and a 200-pound toilet sitting here in the middle of the room and all of this gear. And also the kitchen island isn't set, so I can't lay floor without the kitchen island. I just don't see myself being able to lay floor in the time that I have taken off of work to do this exact thing. Oh, before we go downstairs, there's a couple of cabinets that need to be made. I don't know if they're custom made or custom or ordered and then customized. I forget what, but we got a 12-inch there. We got a 12-inch there. Right now, they're just blanked off for the purpose of getting the countertop set. And then we have another 12-inch on either side of the stove that's going to be here. It's going to be a little bit tight getting to the stove, but the amount of countertop that we have from these cabinets is going to be quite enormous. And if we push this out any farther, it's going to be too much. And also, since the range hood is already set, it's not even worth having that discussion because I'm not going to pay another $1,000 to move that stupid thing. So it is what it is. It's going to be a little tight, and I'm just going to have to live with it. It doesn't piss me off. Downstairs on the outside, these lights do work. He has a 3-way light switch. So there's a switch up there and there's a switch in the garage. What we don't have is a way of turning the lights on from over there. So if you're approaching the garage from the south side, you just have no light. I'm going to have to figure out a solution once this guy is out of my life once and for all. We have our mini split unit here. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. We got no complaints there. We have a security light here, and this is actually, we'll talk about that in just a second. This does work when it's on, but the outlet here does not work. There's, it's just there for decoration. Moving around to the front of the garage, we do have 2 more floodlights up here, but there's a problem with these. They're not adjustable. You would think that you'd be able to adjust the sensitivity and the duration that the lights stay on, but you can't. None of that is adjustable. You also can't replace the lights. And that really, really bothers me because if you can't adjust the duration, well, these lights stay on for like 5 minutes. And if you can't adjust the sensitivity, a gentle wisp of a leaf on the tree over there is going to set this off. And that's exactly what happens when I was trying to help determine the motion of this thing. I stood here. This light came on. And while I was waiting for this light to turn off, that light turned on for no reason whatsoever. So these lights are junk. Don't ever get these lights. These are the Defiant lights sold by Home Depot. Just don't. So apparently that is a thing with floodlights now, is them not being adjustable. You can't replace the light. The other problem with not being able to replace the light is that if an LED light bulb goes bad and I want these things to match and they don't make this style anymore, I have to buy 3 new fixtures. So yay for capitalism. No, I'm going to return these. My contractor bought them, so he has the right to return them, but somebody has to take them out of the fucking wall and replace them with these. So I bought the old school floodlights, and if I want LED light bulbs, I can buy LED light bulbs, which is exactly what I did. So now I have LED lights, and I can adjust the sensitivity, I can adjust the duration, I can adjust the direction of motion sensing like you have been for the past 75 years. So in that rage, I have found myself inside the garage, and there's a lot to talk about in here. First of all, the good news is most of this works. I even have an EV charger. It is up and running, and I've tested, and it does work. But that also came with its own little mini drama because he installed the 4-prong outlet with the ground down. Now, the standard for these 4-prong outlets is to have the ground up. And so when I asked him to correct that, he just starts blaming Volkswagen and saying, oh, these German charging, blah, blah, blah. Moving along, we do have all of our outlets inside working along the wall, which is pretty cool. I am really grateful to be able to finally, after almost a year of not having electricity in my garage, have electricity in my garage. I can run this extension cord to this vacuum, and I can vacuum up all the rat shit underneath my car without having to run an extension cord to my other house. That said, we've got some outlets overhead. We've got outlets there, and another set next to the wall there that are purely for decoration. And as you can see, they are not very good decorations. So they're completely non-functional, and I have not yet done anything with the lights. I don't like how they're mounted. I don't like the wire just, hanging out there. I don't like the chains hanging down there. I don't like the way they're oriented, and we're going to correct that once these people are out of my life. And really nice thing is we do have the mini split AC, which I was able to enjoy on one semi-warm day. I had it running while I was working on my Jeep. It was really nice. So next summer, in a year, I'll really appreciate this. And maybe if it gets moderately cold during the winter because everything's closed now and I can work inside. I don't know. I think this guy hates money. That's the only thing I can think of. So we still have a lot of work to do, and I am absolutely beside myself with frustration here because I took time off to work on this, and I guess I'm just going to work on my Camaro instead. I mean, at least I'm making the best of it. So it actually hasn't been too long since my last ranting and raving. In that time, my electrician has decided to make himself useful, and we have lights. So let's talk about these lights. Overhead, we've got, these are integrated LED lights, lights integrated in the fixtures. They are on dimmers, so they go up and down. I turned that one off. And when they're down, well, they get down to a certain point, and then they dim really unevenly. And that's because of the source of the power is starting at like that light and then chaining down. And so that's why. You just can't dim the lights all the way down, but you can get them pretty close. One thing I noticed here is that we've got this switch over here is for the ceiling fans. This switch is for the lights in the front of the building. And then this switch, which is farthest away from the section that you're controlling, is for the lights in the kitchen. So this is all backwards, but whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a minor quirk, a gripe that I have. But again, not a big deal. And so with all of the trouble that I've been having getting this ADU up and running, I'm sure some of you have been saying, oh, you should be more grateful. Look at all that you have. In fact, the guy that was stealing $90,000 from me repeatedly said that to me as he was using my money to buy himself a house and a brand new truck and a trailer, and basically not giving me anything, leaving me with a hole in the ground. And here's the thing about that. I am grateful. I am grateful for the things that I should be grateful for. I'm grateful to my family. You know who you are. Most of my family, anyway. I'm grateful to my friends. I'm really grateful to my wife. I'm grateful to my boss and my coworkers, because these are the things that are outside of my sphere of influence that I am just lucky to have these people around me that help me out, that give me support, that give me a job, a paycheck, the people that see value in what I bring into the world. But I'm not going to be grateful for things that I pay for. When you pay for something, you are entitled to that thing. So yeah, I have a sense of entitlement around here. I am grateful to my contractor for doing whatever he can to save me money within a reasonable means. So I'm really grateful for my contractor for looking out for me when it comes to this electrician, because I'm not paying the electrician, he is. I'm paying the contractor. I'm grateful to him for that. But at the end of the day, I paid for a service, and I deserve that service. I have an entitlement. So I'm not going to feel some undue gratitude for something that I paid for. I am going to feel entitled for things that I pay for, because that's how the world should work. When you say you're going to do something and you sign a contract to do it, you should do it, because you are providing a paid service in return for money, so that you can go buy things and become entitled to those things that you pay for. All right, let's move this along. We got work to do. Well, more progress has been made. You see over here, we got some shelves built in between the shelves. My contractor started doing that because, well, we didn't have a shelf, and I don't want to spend $1,000 on shelves. With these blanks here, it turns out that we're going to have to also build shelves inside those shelves because I don't want to spend $1,000 per cabinet. Over here, this is going to be a problem. Going to have to find something that matches close enough, looks close enough to the existing cabinet. I don't want to spend $2,000, but oh God, $1,000 for a 12-inch cabinet is a little bit insane. So we're going to figure something out for either side of the stove on this island here. But we're almost done, and I'm really happy with that so far. I had to pick up a faucet for this vanity because I was told that it was going to go in today, but that didn't happen because, you know, nobody does what they say they're going to do. At least not in the timeline that they say they're going to do it in. But I did get a faucet. I kind of hate it, but it's the best that they had at no notice at Home Depot and Lowe's. So I'm thinking I might just order one that I really like online, and if it arrives before this even gets opened, fantastic. If not, well, maybe I'll just switch it out later. Moving on into the bathroom. This is actually a really great update because underneath this plastic is tile flooring. I'm going to peel back just a little bit for you just so you can see what we've got. So we've got my checkerboard. It's gray and whitish with a medium gray grout in between. I really, really like this pattern. Now, this was also kind of, well, almost a real problem because I come home the day that they laid this down and it was all the white tile. None of the gray was laid in. So I said, hey, I wanted a checkerboard. What the hell? So he had to pull up half of the tiles and relay them with the gray. And that is because it turns out I bought way too much. In fact, I've got enough extra tile here to do a whole other bathroom. So I may just keep it for another project because I'm going to have another project. But crisis averted. This has been laid down and it looks fantastic. You see over here behind the vanity, we have a big hole. And we had to open up that big hole so that the plumbing could be moved for the new vanity. And once that's done, hole can get closed out, vanity can go in, and I'll have running sink water and maybe running toilet if they decide to do that as well. And then it'll be up to me to paint the walls. He's also going to start in the shower here. We've got, if I can turn it on, no I can't. Yeah, we've got in our shower, we still have the paper. He's probably going to scratch coat this instead of putting hardy backer because I guess it's a little bit more durable over time and you won't have like separation. It can float out a little bit better. I guess that's what he told me. Could just be trying to get more profit for himself instead of spending money on materials, but you know, it is what it is. He's a great contractor and he certainly does good work. This is all done. That's ready. We have to have a gas line put in there. We also have to have the gas line put in behind the stove. If you'll notice, we also have outlets because my electrician is finally done after 8 months. This is a fantastic victory. I am so happy that this tragedy is finally over. Oh my God, all of the lights work, all of the outlets work, the outdoor outlet works. I'm actually charging my motorcycle now. The overhead lights and the overhead outlets down below work. We've got no arc faults. Everything is done. You see in here, I have put in the keystone jacks and I made a giant hole, which is really, really stupid of me, but that is nothing that can't be relatively easily fixed. Just have to tape and mud it. Pull off those plates, tape and mud it, and sand it down, and then I'll be ready to paint it. So I guess I'm doing that because, well, you know, no one else is going to do it, apparently. I may move this box up a hair because that really kind of bothers me that they're more or less in line except for this one. So that's a quick fix that I can take care of. And with the electrical finally done, I think that's a great way to end this video. We have a huge victory on our hands and we still got a lot more work to do, but in the next video, we're going to have a lot of fun with some DIY projects because I'm going to take care of the paint myself. I'm going to take on some of these drywall repairs, and I'm going to take on the floor, and this place will be completely transformed. And once the flooring is done, we've got countertops and we've got baseboards, and then I can basically start moving my stuff in here and making this my home office. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Something I learned about the YouTube algorithm. In order to get it to highlight the like button and the subscribe, I have to say, please subscribe and hit that like button. So if you like what you see, please subscribe and hit that like button and share and comment. I am all screwed up now because I had my outro memorized and really easy to say, and now I can't do it anymore. So thank you for watching. If you don't like it, and if you don't like what you see, maybe you're an electrician, leave a comment anyway. I still want to hear from you. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope I figure out this outro.